I've been doing hair for 10 years. The first thing I'm gonna let you know, I went to cosmetology school. I ain't know look at nothing of hair, like nothing. I know how to comb roll, and that was it. So based on that, crochet has actually been my longest service, the first service I ever learned. So I know so much about it, how to finagle it, how to, if you have thinning hair, if you have alopecia somewhere, I know all the type of ways to still give you that look for the crochet. Also, my crochets look very, as far as if it is individual, like box braids, singlet twists, boho braid, I mean all those braiding services as you can think of. And based on that is how I will kind of teach y'all and show y'all. Also, I like to make sure y'all understand the density of the hair really matters for the braiding pattern. Crochet could be your easiest and quickest money. I just don't like to braid. When I first started, I was a braider, and I hate standing on my feet for 6 to 8 hours, only making a few bucks. And so I was just like, there gotta be a quicker way, easier way, and give you the same results. So crochet would definitely be your money maker. I charge $150, but also I'm full service. I like to explain very highly in all these cosmetology schools, wash hair. It starts at the shampoo bowl. If you do not shampoo the hair, the style's not gonna last. My crochets can, depending on the density of the hair and the type of hair, it can last between 6 to 8 weeks. That's just as long as individual braids. So that's what I mean by you can get a big bang for your buck real quick making with this service. So how I usually start, so with my client, she has more fine thin hair. So for her, my crochets last for, and she's one of my regulars, so just FYI. So I know a lot about her and her hair. And so therefore, oh, it's motion? Yeah. And so I know how she is. Her hair is more on the fine hair. And so her crochets are gonna last about what, 5-6 weeks? Yeah. More the coarser thick hair lasts longer because obviously the braids aren't gonna unravel as quick. And even with her grow out, she has a good grow out, but it's still the fine hair. So always think of that. Also, the braiding pattern I'm gonna show y'all, that is my main braiding pattern for everybody's hair, whether thin or thick hair. Now I do switch it up and change it up a little bit if they do have thicker hair, because you want still a flat foundation when you do a crochet, just as if you're doing any type of extensions. So as I'm braiding down, y'all can ask me all the questions that y'all want to ask me. So during my consultation with my client that I usually don't have, that's new, I would ask them, how do they style their hair? Because based on how you style the hair is also how much you're putting the hair in. I have clients that they're like, oh, I only wear my hair in a ponytail. Okay, well, I don't need to put as much crochet hair in. There's ones that are like, oh, I like to style half up, half down. Okay, I gotta make sure it's full. I gotta make sure you have enough packs hair, things like that. So your consultations, no matter what service you're doing, are very important. And so for her, she likes to style her hair. So I'm gonna do a middle part as far as starting with the braid down. If somebody says they want a side part, I still like even amount of braids on each side. So even if she was a side part person, I would still put a middle part and then wherever she wants it, and then I'll do my braids based on that so far. So also, this part of the head is really, really important when it comes to the braiding pattern I'm gonna provide, because what happens is I do straight backs in the front and I do a beehive in the back. When the hair starts to grow out, if it's not in I call it a sweet spot, it's gonna separate and you're gonna see it. Most clients don't like that because now they have to try and hide and finagle their hair. And my biggest thing with my clients, I want them to just get up and go. I don't want them to have to finagle their hair and try to hide something or anything. So this is like, I say like the sweet spot. If it's a new client, sometimes, you know, it may not work out and you kind of just fix it the next time. And I always ask my clients like, hey, how did your service went? How did it grow out a certain way? Did it separate? Did anything? Because based on that would tell me if I need to move it up some or I need to move it back some before I do the beehive, because you don't want it to separate. And trust me, it doesn't look the greatest unless you're wearing a half up, half down. But again, sometimes my clients just like to wear their hair down. Some of them wear it all up. So that's just part of your consultation with your client. So based on that with her, I know how her hair grows. So I'm going to, because the half of the hair is gonna be braided straight back. So I take this 1/2 and I part it all the way, at least behind the ear. If their hair is thicker, sometimes I might bring it up a little bit more, just to kind of even that out a little bit better, so it's not so thick. And I'm just really precise with my parts. To be honest, your parts don't have to be the greatest. Nobody's gonna see them, but you at least want them straight, okay? That's the important part. And everything for me is this, I section off. It's a easier workstation for me. Also, the size of your braids. In the front, I at least do, depending how thick or thin the hair is, 5 to 7 braids. The 7 is more for the thicker. 5 to 6 is more on the fine, thin hair.
That's on each side?
Yes, on each side. Yep. So even if they want their part here, as far as like that middle part on whatever side, you're still gonna have the same amount of braids.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And these are the crochets that are gonna go inside the braid?
Yeah. Where did I put them? Yes, these are the ones she picked out.
Okay.
So she was explaining that I have my own hair, but I have my own like extension hair for like sew-ins and stuff. I do not carry crochet hair only because it's just so much variety.
Right.
Like there would be no point because people like different lengths,
right,
different colors. So my best recommendation, I always tell people go on Amazon, only because that's where I've always gotten my hair. Sometimes the hair store hair, the quality isn't there, but also it's a hit or miss. Like right now in my head, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, I hate this hair. I hate it. But it's my fault. I didn't read the reviews. Oh. So I had to hurry up and go on a trip, and so I had to hurry up and order some hair, and I just clicked it, bought it, and yeah. And so,
Did you do it yourself?
Yeah, yep. Sometimes she'll break me down. Sometimes she'll braid me down, but if I don't have somebody, I just braid it myself and I do it myself. I prefer to have somebody else braid it down just because the same pattern I do on my hair. So that beehive is very hard to do on your own hair just because the hand directity. So I prefer for somebody else to braid it, but yeah. So I usually start at least, so I don't measure by like I eyeball. I would say it's about an inch, maybe a half an inch part. And so my key thing is I braid it all the way down. I braid it all the way down as much as I can because when y'all see how I actually braid these into the beehive, you want it as flat as possible. And sometimes with thicker hair, that's why I said sometimes I have to maneuver it with thicker hair, and I might have to feed in piece by piece into the beehive just because it's thicker. But with her, I don't have to do that. I'll be able to do my normal braid down with her, but I braid this down just so that it gives it more flatness.
Do you put any products on there before, or no?
I do it after. I think that is like a preference thing. I don't like my hands I just don't like things on my hands, period. Like even when I cook, I wear gloves. I don't know. And it's weird about like how my stuff feels. Also, my key thing is no matter what, I never braid edges, ever. Nope. I do not do that. Because one, tension, no matter what, it's tension when you braid all that in, and you don't want that because over time then they're not going to have edges.
Right.
Touch it this way. And so usually the braiding process takes the longest.
Right.
I've been doing crochets for so long. For my regulars, it usually takes me, and if I wasn't like talking to y'all, right. It takes me literally like about an hour and a half. So an hour and a half, and I make $150. Wow. So, yeah, but it comes with time, cause like like I said, my braids are neat. My parts, like people be like, oh my gosh, your parts are like, it comes with time.
Yeah.
Cause $150.
For any kind of like, does it go by like density? Like how much hair? It's just 150 period.
Nope. Because, so my service, when you book me, my service is a 2.5 hour service.
Okay.
Because I like to make sure that if you do have thick hair, I still have time for you. If you do have thin hair, I still have time for you. I hate having somebody wait. That's just not me. Now, the crochet hair that she has, like any type of singleless twist, boho, box braid, any of those is 150. Now, if you get into the loose hair, those curly hair, I didn't bring any. Yeah, like tresses hair. Yeah, that for me is 175. And I prefer that my clients to drop the hair off so that I can individually piece them, but they take more time. So on an average, maybe exactly the 2 hours for a person that's one of my regulars. But usually all my new clients, it do take me like that full time because I'm learning their hair. Mostly any new client, they need their hair trimmed. So all my services include a wash and a trim. I make sure, like she was explaining, like I make sure the hair is healthy and protected.
Right.
I've had clients that come, their hair is clean. It's just, so sometimes the hair isn't detangled enough. So yeah, and I'm like, no. So I just go ahead and wash. Also, sometimes the hair, it just be feeling dry and my products is just bitter. So I just prefer to wash. I just feel like it's easier. When I first started doing hair again, I would prefer people to come wash, but then I noticed it took me so long to do their hair because I was taking more time detangling their hair than actually doing their hair. So I was like, let me just go ahead and just offer wash. Also, I just feel like it's just important. Also, you can see how the hair is when it's washed. That's another thing. How their hair reacts. How you can see certain different damages that you can see than you would blow dried. It's important to wash the hair. You okay? You doing fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm great.
I do try and check on my clients because people don't like to be like, "Ooh, it hurt," or "This is uncomfortable."
So if you can get the braids go straight, like it doesn't matter like if they have a side part or not, they can just change it, right?
That's the point.
Right.
Yep. Okay. But I have some clients where they like the part to be closer.
Oh.
So that's another thing. So now I have to braid those two braids at an angle more so that part's a little,
right.
Yeah. So that's where I still kind of say the consultation is important because I mean, I have this one client, the first time I did it, she didn't tell me. And so she was like, I didn't really like it. And then I'm like, well, why you didn't tell me? She's like, whoa. And so now, like, I ask her where you want your part. And also sometimes with that, you might have to do more braids because now you have to do either smaller braids to be able to get that closer part. Video. This is when I first started, fresh out of cosmetology school, and I was like, what is this? Like, I don't know what this is. I never heard of it, never seen it, nothing. And so she was like, it's crochet. And I was like, she's like, I'll get you everything you need. Can you just learn this? And I was like, well, what do I need? She's like, oh, just this crochet hook. And I was like, okay. I still have the same crochet hook from 10 years ago.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm so OCD and organized. No, I lost it for a little while, so I had to get some. And then when I was decluttering all this extra hair that I had, I found it. And I was like, oh yes, I'm like, because I had that crochet since I started. But yeah, so yeah, on the average in the beginning, it took me a good three hours. Just because I was still learning like people's hair and what best would work for people. And so I noticed that this braiding pattern worked best for most of my clients, so I kind of just stuck with it, and that's what makes me move a little bit faster.
Right.
And sometimes, basically, everybody's hair is thicker or thinner on one side, so sometimes it is uneven where it's like 6 and 5.
Yeah.
Or like, just FYI, it's not gonna be like perfect number every time. I would save my tips, and I like literally within, I want to say 2.5 months, I was able to pay like my deposit and everything for my house.
Serious? How do you save tips?
So how I saved it? So the thing is, if they give me cash, I spend it. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
I ain't gonna lie. See, so when you work there, they give you a special card for your tips, and so I just put it away.
Yeah. I would have lost it on purpose.
Yeah, I just put it away. I said I'm not touching it. So whatever I got paid hourly, I got paid hourly. That paid my bills.
Right.
But I was determined. I really wanted this house, and so I was like, yeah. But yeah, I'm like, that goes to show like it's a good experience for one. I feel like that would set you up, and then two, you get paid nicely.
Yeah.
I remember I had one weekend and I wasn't even that busy. I think I had like maybe 3 or 4. Like this is Friday and Saturday, and I made like 400.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Just tips.
And what they was tipping?
That was only
Money. What's going on? So a lot of my guys, they like my braids, and Sade can testify to this because I'm not heavy-handed.
She's so gentle and soft. I love getting my hair braided.
So like they fall asleep, and then these my lovely girls.
Oh, because they put their head back.
And I just let them be like that. And I just let them sleep, you know?
Hey. What can I say?
Okay.
Whatever works for you,
Right.
use it.
So do y'all get to use a straight blade there?
Well, no.
No.
So that's one thing. If you was to go to any of those places, any of those like cutting places, since you're not a licensed barber, you can't use a straight razor. And there will be people that are like, hey, can you use? Be like, no. But I forgot the little shaver thing. You can use one of those. I forgot what they called. You can use one of those though. It's like it gets you a little bit closer.
Like with the edge, they got like a little.
No, not the trimmers. It's like what's that thing called? It's like round and has like.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about? I can't even think what it's called. But you can use one of those.
Okay.
But what I tell people, when it comes to clippers and stuff, you can adjust those.
Right.
So you can adjust them where they go closer to like a 00.
Right.
Because we live in Texas. There's a lot of military bases. Got a lot of military men. So they like them like tight, them real skin. And even with that, I would go with my trimmers. Because trimmers are a lot closer than your actual clippers yourself. So that too. Okay, so since she's doing a versatile styling, I always cross them in the middle. Even though she might do a side or whatever, but it's still gonna cross over. But for me, to keep it just easy and simple, I do it in the middle. And she's like, hey, I only wear this side, then I would have crossed it on that side.
Why is that?
Just because, so you'll see that the part will look more natural.
Oh.
Yeah.
It look like it's close, like ended off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and it'll look more like individualized, kind of in a way.
Yeah.
Just depending on how. Also, it comes down to ask your clients how full they like their hair. I had this.
I have a question on that because I had this one girl. She was like, I don't want too much in my hair, and I'm like, how? You gave me a whole pack of hair, so I'm like, do I use all of it? And
so how you would do it, so how you distribute it. So if they're like, I don't like it heavy or I don't like it too full, before I even start, I would like, if that's the case, you will see a little braid. I explain that. Because if you don't explain that and you do it, then they're like, why is it showing? Well, you said you ain't wanted that full. You know, so I kind of, based on that conversation of asking, and because even before I start again, I'm like, okay, now you explained that this is how you want it, so before I put it in, this is how it's gonna be, you know. And also, I always start with the front and feel the front first, and I ask them before I even move to the back. I put them to the mirror. Like, how does this look? You know, play with it, because before I move to the back, and if I run out of hair, I ain't got no hair to put up front. So I can finagle the back, because like I said, nobody really looks at the back. And so yeah, so I kind of asked them, because I have this a junior high student. She's been with me since 4th grade. And just of this year, she told me, she's like, can you not put so much hair in it? And I was like, girl, I've been doing your hair for years. And her mom was like, yeah, I be finding hair all over the house because she be taking the hair out. And I'm like, I've been doing your hair for so long and you never told me. She's like, I know, I just don't know. Like, she's older now, so I get why she's willing to talk to me. But like, I mean, compared to a 4th grade, you know, kids are a little quieter and, you know, so I'm like, girl. So when I cross them, my new thing, I recently just started doing this only because I feel like it keeps the part a little bit better, is I'll take this one that comes over and I'll crochet it into the like skipping this braid so that it crosses really nicely. Because you'll see when I braid it, why I do that. And then again, I do it on the other side. And so now that it's nice tugged in. Because now what I'm going to do, I'm going to braid this down into the beehive. So the way that I do the beehive, I kind of start it halfway. Okay, also key thing, this back. Okay? Leave these alone. You don't want your person having bumps. Leave this out. Stop trying to put that in. I mean, some people, they have long ones. Leave them out.
Yeah.
Or if you're gonna put them in lightly, gently. Leave this out. Don't touch that. Okay? And then also, the way I do it, I do a real thin piece right here. Because if you go thick, so if I was to part it, let's say, all the way up here, and I had this thick piece of braid, this is gonna come loose. Because the thicker it is, the more that it is, the more tension, and it's gonna pull, and it's gonna come loose way quicker than the service. Way quicker than it lasting for the 5 to 6 weeks or the 4 to 6 weeks that it's gonna be. That's probably gonna get loose within like 2 weeks if it's too thick. So I only do a small piece, and it's probably the only small part that I do, and then the rest of it, I'll be a little thicker. Again, we don't want bumps, we don't want none of that, and we also want this to last. Even though we can't see it, some of my clients do wear a whole ponytail, so that's also why it's very, very important for me to do a smaller braid back here, but very important. And I only braid down to here, and I stop here, and on this side, you'll see this is the side that's gonna start connecting the beehive, but I'm gonna braid this little piece in. Also, when I braid all the way across and I have this piece hanging, I'm also gentle when I pull that up, because again, that's still some tension right here that can cause little bumps. So I'm very picky about the quality of braiding hair I use. My braiding hair is a little more expensive, and I chose that because the hair that, I don't know, that cackle-line hair, I don't know. One, I don't like how it feels on my hands, how it is in my clients on me, or ask me. I get it from Amazon, and like I said, it is a little bit more pricier. It comes in different lengths, but I'm not a braider, so I get the shortest length because I don't do no braiding. That's not happening. So.
I don't like me.
What you say?
I ain't braiding no hair. And I know how to do it. I don't want to.
I never liked it braiding, ever. Say their hair was like only this short. You think you have enough hair because on a typical braid, you'd be able to braid it. But as you start to braid in the beehive, the hair pulls. And so you're gonna want to add braiding hair. So that's another reason why my services only take an hour and a half. I set up everything set up. So if they're a regular, I already know I gotta have extra pieces or whatever, so that if I do gotta add hair the whole entire time, I already have it set out. So kind of think of that too in a perspective. So this is the one side that I start with the braid. So I braid all that down. So this I mean by you want to pay attention to the density of your client's hair, because if it's too thick, this is going to be so bulky. You don't want the bulkiness. So you want to make sure that you pay attention to how thick their hair is or how thin their hair is. If her hair was super thick, I probably would have braided only 2 of these at a time together, and I would have fed those into the beehive. I would have took those 2, fed that in, go in the circle, in the next circle, fed that in, like crochet it underneath and feed that in, if that makes sense in the best way. Okay, it does. Okay. But that's how, if their hair was thick, that's how I would have did the braid down pattern. So it still would have been the straight back, still would have been a beehive. It's just how I would feed these straight backs into the beehive would have been a little bit different if her hair was thicker. Again, you want a flat foundation for everything. Oh yeah. Y'all can. I'm like, y'all can come see and look, and I'm like, y'all have to stay. I'm like, y'all perfectly fine to come look.
I won't bite it.
I'm like, y'all can even come look when I'm done braiding. I'll give it a second for y'all to like come look and actually see what it looks like.
You buy your bundles off of a vendor?
I have a supplier, yeah. So, God, I'm not even gonna lie. No, for real. I wasn't even looking for a supplier. I was just looking for a closure. And I reached out to this one girl, and I was like, hey, I need a 2x6. Do you have a 2x6 on hand? Blah, 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 blah. She was like, no, but she's like, this is my backup website. She's like, or you can buy my supplier from me. And I was like, I was like, because my goal was eventually to have my own hair supplier. I just didn't expect it to be so fast.
Right.
And so now, literally, like my extensions, my clients, it like picked up because I'm like, I don't have to look for extensions. I don't have to make them go buy some extensions.
Right.
So that's literally how that worked for me.
Is that added into your service, like with the hair, or?
So I don't do add into service. So my best friend, she owns her own tax business. So she's very particular and will tell you exactly how to run your business in a proper way, an easier way for it to be calculated for at the end of the year.
Right.
So I keep everything separate.
Okay.
So any hair that you buy from me is off my website because I can keep track of that. I'm a systems person. Like I do systems all the way around. It's very rare I'm doing something physically. So like my booking site, everything's on my booking site, fully detailed, policies, everything. When you buy my hair, you can go on my booking site. There's a link to go to my website for my hair. And it just helps me keep track for everything. Even doing my taxes at the end of the year, I use QuickBooks. QuickBooks is thebomb.com, best way. Because all you do is categorize all your stuff. So literally, by the end of the year, it takes me maybe like 30 to 45 minutes to print everything out, put it in the system for my best friend, and I'm done.
Wow.
Yeah, I like convenience. I'm one of the people like, I don't like to waste time.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Okay, you put me onto that Facebook, and I'm so quick to say what
Put it in the book.
Yep, and I just found out the receipts, they never leave. The pictures never leave. That you had. But yeah, QuickBooks and there's different ones for QuickBooks too. So like, I mean, I'm self-employed, so obviously I use the self-employed one. But like, if you are in a partnership, corporation, like they have everything, and it's so convenient. Don't get me wrong, I still write everything down too. So like my personal expenses, I write down.
Right.
Only because I don't have that many bills.
Yeah.
But my personal stuff, I don't put in my QuickBooks. It's just only my business stuff, so that I can make sure I have enough write-offs. I don't gotta pay Uncle Sam.
Right.
Because I don't be wanting to pay Uncle Sam.
Okay, I got another
Yep.
Do you drop ship for your bundles, or do you buy them and then resell them?
So that's funny. We were just having this conversation. So I don't really like drop shipping. I like to be able to touch everything because I'm the type of person. So say for example, you drop ship, somebody gets your stuff, they're not happy. Now they're downgrading your business. And that's honestly, I feel like that's on you because you should have got those, make sure they're good. Yes. So I don't do drop shipping.
Okay.
When I first got into it, I was gonna do that, but when I spoke with one person and they were telling me about that whole drop shipping and like, you know, she don't like to do that because she wants to touch because if anything happened. And I was like, I like that better. So unfortunately, yes, it is more work, but my supplier, I give her my logo. She can print everything for me, my bags, my tags, all that. So it's like, I'm not necessarily doing a lot of work, but just, you know, I want to, you know, my little situation. Hopefully. I'm like, hopefully, make it happen. I'm like, I'm gonna make sure it don't hold me back. I do too. Trust me, I do too. Actually, I want to go to Thailand and meet this other lady too. If I'll keep going in a beehive and finish. Her hair's not as thick, so I'm gonna end it with a zigzag.
Right.
So that's kind of how I end with my beehive.
My mom has a
Okay, so my go-to oil, wild growth oil. Wild growth oil?
Wild growth.
Yeah. So many people are like, oh, you know, you should make your own oil. No. This oil, this is the oil. Like, clients be like, you got my hair growing so fast. This oil, I'm telling y'all, this, I've been using it for years. I have not ever, unless somebody's allergic, I use this for everybody. I don't care who you are. I have biracial clients. You gonna get this.
What is the name of it?
Wild growth oil. So for my clients, if they have dry scalp and say they wear a silk press or whatever, I would tell them do big chunk parts and put it on their scalp and rub it in. Because it's a really good oil and it's very stimulating and it's thick. So that if you are a person that don't really wear braids and you wear your natural hair but you have dry scalp, I say every 2 weeks. Or depending on how often you wash your hair, but that's like I recommend for everybody. Now my client, her scalp be itchy, so I gotta put this on her scalp too. This is for also my clients. They don't necessarily have anything wrong with their scalp because I do have a couple of clients that have seborrheic dermatitis and stuff, and I use this on them too. But for them people that are so itchy, I use this too. So I'll put both of them on there. Some don't like both. And I'll just put this one because again, it gives them a little long longevity so they're not so itchy and flaky. Like anchor their head the way it needs to, or.
That one is the side extension?
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried the kaleidoscope?
No, I haven't tried that one yet.
It makes my hair itch.
Really? I use it on
Yeah, she be having my hair. Whew.
It made my hair, like it had like a burning sensation, and
You might have to be allergic.
Yeah, I don't. You see how bad? I only use a few drops and like, cause I used to break out a lot of my edges, especially back here, cause wigs and stuff. So I just put a little bit, and it just started burning, and then it just started like, I don't know, like itching real bad. So I stopped using it. But that one,
Yeah, you might be allergic.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She uses like coconut
So coconut is a very common ingredient people are allergic to. That's one thing I've learned. So be careful with that. One thing I like about this is don't have coconut. That's what really set me off because I was like, ooh, what they? Because a lot of people are.
I don't get the coconut one. I just get the original one or the extra strength. Just have 3.
Okay, so I just feed it in as much as possible. Main thing is, so if somebody has super long hair, it takes a little bit more. But what I try my best, where did I just take that? I try and go downwards as much as I can, and then I start feeding it this way, so that it hides. Also, as the way that I place these on here, I will place it. Like, so you see how it crossed on this? I will place it right on for both of them so it holds it. So that, because if you only do one, eventually it's gonna fall out. Okay, so how do you like it? Do you like it full? Do you like it? I'm just kidding. She likes it. So she's like in the medium kind of person. She don't like it drastically like full, but nor does she really like you to see her braids. So how I do, so usually these two right here are only about two of the hair. As you get around here, based on, because everybody's length of their hair and everything of their shape is different. So sometimes this braid might be this long, so you got to kind of figure out how many you're gonna place. But usually here, depending on how 2 to 3. depending. But again, you're not gonna see these. That's also why I try not to put too much on these right here, because you're not gonna see them. Even when you do, so even if she was to do a side part, these are still gonna cover those. So these 2 braids, even if I run out of hair, sometimes I'll take one from there because I just know you're really ever gonna see it. Also, when I do the front, this is the reason why I use braiding hair. I go before the knot so that you don't, so I go right before that knot, if y'all want to come see, so that so I do it right before the little knot.
Don't mind it being in your face, sorry.
Yeah. So this is where I put it right before there. Yeah. So that now.
Did you braid, or is it just gonna stay like that?
Like this.
Oh, it stays like that.
Yeah. So that when you do close it out, now it looks very natural. Like it's just, you know, that's what I was saying, that individual like looking thing. Because I get people that be like, they see a trend and they're like, oh, can you do the individual boxes and then feed it into the next box? I don't know if y'all seen that.
It breaks your hair off more than.
Well, not even that. You can see the piece of the hair that gets braided, that gets, so like they'll do like the rubber band method, and like they'll do a box, and then, you know, you do a plait, and then that plait feeds into the next box, and then you braid that down. Yeah, trust me. Yeah, you will get those. If you get into the crochet, you will get those clients that they see a trend, and they think that it's gonna work out better because they want crochet to look more of a natural look. Literally, based on how you place in the front before that knot will give that look that they're looking for, because that's what they're looking for. They want the front to make it look like I have individual braids. That will give it to you. I literally talk out every person. I'm like, girl, you are not gonna like it, because what happens is that little piece, like say that's a box braid and you feed that piece into another, now you see that piece in between, because you're not gonna put hair on that.
No.
So try and your best educate and tell them like, no, it's not gonna work out, because it's not. But other than that, from there, you kind of, this is where your technique comes in. It's kind of where you want to place and how you place your, you and your
My earring.
based on how you place it is how it will fall. You're good now. When it's individual, I mean in between the braids, depending how thick it is, I might put 1 or 2. Just all depends how thick. Also, you gotta think of how thick these are too. I get clients that get little micro, you're good, little micro crochet pieces, and so you might have to put like 2, 3 right here just to cover. Yeah, you gotta kind of think what you got. Right. And so based on when you put the first one in, you be like, oh, okay, I can do what I need to do. Again, also I put almost 2 to 3 in between, because I know she's gonna wear her hair half up, half down. So you don't want that braid to show. If it's a person that's just like, I wear it down, because I do have clients that literally just wear it down, because say that they get 8, because this can go as short as 8 inches and as long as, I think these are 24. Yeah.
These are 18 actually.
Yeah, so they go pretty long. So based on how the length is, also based on the length is how thick the style is gonna feel too. So them 8, 10 inches, you might not need as many packs as you would as a 18, 20 inch.
You ever get to the point where you're like done, you're like, oh dang, I need more hair?
I've been there plenty of times, like literally plenty of times. That's where you got to kind of get creative and kind of figure out. That's why I always do the front first, because at least I know you're good. You look cute in the front. Yeah. I always do the front first. The back, I'll start spacing like 2, 3 finger spaces, just so I know I have enough. Because I mean, on my booking site it says 8 to 9 packs, but I got some clients that got some big heads. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. So at those moments, but also I have clients that love to leave me hair. So sometimes that really works out too. They don't want to take it. They'll be like, oh, you can have it. And my daughter, she has a live-in stylist, so she always be trying to change her hair. So
How many packs is that?
so she went to the hair store, and so they have those three in one packs.
Okay.
So this is technically, if it was individual, it'd be 9.
It'd be 9.
Yeah.
Dang, how many come in one pack?
3.
Only 3 little strands?
No, 3 like packs.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 bundles. Yeah.
That's why you ask questions.
Yeah. So, before crochet was a hot commodity, especially on Amazon, I could tell people order 7-8 packs, and we'd be good. We even have extra hair. I be having to tell you, so my little trick is I tell them order 2 orders, because I'm only going to take about 1 to 2 packs out that order and send it back. Because unless they like the style, keep it, but send it back, because I'm like, that's on Amazon, that's their fault. I don't know why they started trying to be skimpy with the packs, because I'm like, I've been getting hair from Amazon for like 3 years now, and I'm like, now all of a sudden this past year and a half, these packs been skimpy. And so, and then from the hair store, it's a hit or miss with them. Because there be times people bring me 8 packs and it's good, there's 8 packs, and I'm like, there's barely any hair. So, I can never, so when people be like, oh, I'm gonna go to the hair store, I be like, I don't know how many packs to get, because I don't really, like, I know Amazon. Like, I order so much from it that I know what the outcome would be.
Do you ever have to cut them, like, for whatever reason?
So these are cuttable. Not all crochet hair is cuttable. So say, for example, she had a boho box braid, they're not cuttable. So she would just have to take for whatever look and length it goes for. Biggest thing is, most of the time, most of the hair is good hair. It's the boho hair you want to pay attention to. That's why I got this raggedy hair in my head. I'm waiting till after New Year's. I'm still trying to be a little cute for New Year's Eve. So, but yeah. So I always say look at the reviews, because I've had clients who brought me boho box braids or boho locks and everything, and they nice, good. They feel good. Like I said, I didn't look at the reviews. I just clicked buy. So look at the reviews. They do wash their hair with these.
Oh, really?
So it is possible, yes. Not necessarily the style that she has, but more of those, like if you have locks, if you have the box braids with no, extra hair, those ones, they'll wash. It is possible.
So with these, you can't wash them?
You probably can. I haven't met anybody who has to tell me if they end up doing good. Because originally with crochet, 2 years ago, passion twists weren't made like this. They weren't made soft. They still had the same look, but they were more of a lock. Yeah. So all of a sudden, vendors changed to this softness, and I don't know why. Because my kids, actually, this was their go-to style for the longest. And all I would do, I'd take them out, wash them, because they were reusable. Because some of them, you can't reuse them. And I have clients that come with their reused hair. They washed it, they air dry them, and they use them. It depends on quality, what they look like at the end. I always say each to its own. What's your preferences? And it's gonna feel like you're using a lot in the front. It's okay. You want the front, your best quality.
Right.
Yeah. The main thing is, the best way is make sure you have at least 3 left for the back. That's one thing I've learned. I'd be like, whew, this camera ran in. Yeah. But I'm like, as long as I have 3, I can make it work.
So I know you said that you tell your clients to get 8 packs or however many packs, whether they get them from Amazon or the beauty store. And you say you charge $150. Is that just for installation and braiding and stuff? Or?
So the wash, the trim, the installation.
Okay, and then they get their own packs. $150 for everything.
Yeah. Okay. And usually hair runs, it's all based on length. So I mean, you can spend as cheap as like $30 for hair, or as much as like $55, $60, and that's because you got long hair.
Yeah.
The hair could be as inexpensive or expensive as you make it. This is what we check. So I usually put her in the mirror, ask her what she likes. She likes it on the side. So I check to make sure that it's good for the side. Like right here, we're missing a little space. So I'm gonna add a piece.
You did that real bad. I was just gone for 10 minutes.
So I check that, make sure that look good. She does both sides. So I'm gonna check her other side. Make sure her other side is good. And it looks good. No, we can put one more right here.
Yeah, I want to do a crochet, but I want it with loose hair because I want to braid the front.
Yeah, that'd be cute. Okay, how do you like it? Can you see? Where your glasses? Oh, okay. I was making sure. Okay, so now that she's okay with it and I've checked both sides, that's when I'm gonna go into the front. I mean to the back. So I make sure I push everything back. No, break your head up, girl. I push everything to the front, and I start adding the back. So the back is where I spread it out just a little bit more. But this whole first row, all right here, I'm still gonna keep it close, just in case she decides to put it all the way up. She don't, but you're gonna learn your clients. They tell you one thing, they do another. Okay? So just in case, I still make sure that it's nice and full. Then I go into these rows and I do at least like a finger to make almost a finger and a half. It all depends how much hair I have left too. Okay? So like these like to stick together.
Another trick I learned is going the opposite way. It helps build in the gaps.
Oh, yeah, cause the knot thingy, the little knot piece, yeah. I've noticed that too. Because when my crochet hook acts a little funny, like, you know, you're trying to squeeze that little hook in the braid.
And I'm just like, where'd you get that?
10 years ago.
Mine is pink and green. Okay.
Yeah, that's a hair store. So when I lost this one, I did order other ones on Amazon that looked just like this, but they were terrible. I had to super glue them. They kept coming out. This piece kept coming out.
Where did your aunt give it to you, right?
Yeah. I don't know. This is 10 years ago. I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, and so that's why I was like, they make them cheaply made now. Because I'm like, literally, like I've had people where I've like, and this never is like come loose, like ever. Yeah. What you want to make hourly. Based on the hourly, based on your skill.
Okay.
All that is what you would price your prices at.
What you mean? Okay.
So my crochet is a 150
Right.
because at a point in time it took me the 2.5 hours. Here's
Right.
another one.
Dang.
Right. So it's hard to buy.
They did have one job.
That's what you want. What's the charge rate?
Hold on, did that mess up though?
It did. If you pull it,
I be feeling like
Let me see this one.
the string.
I charge $100 for a freestyle on my guys, and I get them done in an hour. So I'm making $100 in an hour.
Yeah. So mine is, I make 50 an hour. So now going into this new year, some things I'm gonna still keep, like my silk press only take me 2 hours. So I'm really only gonna do like at a $25, only because I do need to increase my pricing, cost of living, you know, all that. So that's not gonna be a big jump. But as far as like my extensions, they're definitely gonna be increased because just the timing that it takes. Because before when I was doing my traditional sewings, I didn't include the curling, the styling. I just include, you know, it was just, I put it in there. I give you a little frame. Usually people stick with their like body wave look and go about, now people want the curl and so now I need to intake that into pricing.
Right, yeah.
So, but yeah, so it's not too much of a big jump.
Because I don't know. Like I have thin hair, so I don't know. Like as far as like blending.
Mm-hmm.
I want to. She said she know how to blend. I know.
That's
Like
one brush through. You
But what do you mean? Like you're trying to get a traditional sew-in, and you're afraid that your hair is gonna be too thin, or?
Yes. Like to do it. You think so?
Why?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Especially because just like she just added hair to them braids for her braid down from Crochet, you can do the same thing if you feel like.
Well, honestly, when it comes to the traditional sewing, the key thing.
You leave out this part, right?
Yeah, but the key thing, which I taught a month ago or so, you need that anchor braid. That anchor braid is what's gonna hide everything else. So you don't have the regular straight backs or beehive. Everybody has their own preference how they braid it down. But wherever your leave out is, you're gonna have a braid that comes straight back and around it. Right. And so when you put the track is so close that when you put it just blends. Oh, okay. If you don't have the anchor braid, you're gonna have this huge gap. And you over here trying to figure out how to blend it in and try to, So those anchor braids are so important.
How do you spin with those pants?
No, for real. The pants.
But also, if you're afraid of those, you have enough of a hairline. You can do the behind the hairline closure look too.
Okay.
If you're too concerned.
Right.
Because some people, they're just like, I don't know, my hair, like I have fine thin hair. So I'd be like, well, we could do a 2x6, behind the hairline. Do it that way. Yeah. But dominantly my clients, I have thin receiving hairlines. I specialize in that because those are mainly where I live. I have dominantly retired military people, which their hair has been jacked up. Yeah. So they have alopecia issues, they have scalp issues. So I specialize in stuff like that so that I'm able to cater to them. And that's the reason why I got into learning closures, because they were just to a concern. That glue. Girl, I had ordered me my bottle. She hasn't complained since. So I think that Erica J is a no-go.
Yeah, because I put it on my head and let me tell you, Dallas and my wig came up.
Yeah.
I really leave it like this and it came off.
Are you serious?
I'm so serious. And I'm about to leave my hair.
Do not get Erica J. Boho. I've always back in the day when I tried boho, and I was in Dallas photo shoot, 90-something degrees, wig, didn't lift, I was sweating. Sweating, that thing stayed. And that was my first time I ever did a wig. I'd never even done anything. I was like, bow hold is the way to go. Yeah. Bold hold is the product. For the little bottle, it's $27. The bottle's that big. So I wouldn't say it's expensive, but I know you do. 'Cause remember that video? No, I don't. Honestly, I don't. Yeah, and honestly, I'm not a service person because, I don't believe in that. Only because I don't know. To me, I've seen people where and I've heard stories, and so I know me and her we good, but I just rather just pay. It's just The thing is, I be at it I literally. The thing is, I be on Instagram and I'm like, ooh, this is so cute. So I'm like, how much this cost? So I don't be thinking to click on her site because I just be, and I'll send her the video. I'm like, can we do this? Is my hair, how much is this? And so she be like, it's on my booking site as blah, 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 blah. And I be like, honestly, I can't complain because I'm the same way. I'm the same exact way. So.
But then backdoor text me for a price.
Okay, so even though the head might be a little sore, I hold the head, little forehead, and I pull these back.
That's a regular, so she right.
So the reason why I do that is because remember in the beginning I pushed it all forward. Right. So you want to make so they can fall into place.
Right.
So this is the final look.
You did that so fast.
Yeah. So let's have a look. Okay, yeah, we good. There we go. So I try and do as clean products as possible. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world. It's just, it is what it is. So I don't like edge controls because most of the time, most edge controls are made with alcohol in them. And people be wondering why they don't got no edges, or the edge is drying out, or whatever, the edge is falling out, or whatever the case may be. So I don't use any type of edge control. I use a lock gel. I discovered this because my boyfriend, he has locks. And I was like, your locks be staying off of this. I'm like, what about if I try to use it for edge control? And it actually works. Now, it's not something as longevity. It is something that my clients still would have to do. But also what I like is that once it like disappears, it's oil based. So it doesn't leave a white residue. The only time it leaves a white residue is because I oiled their scalp too much. So that scalp and this got mixed, and now that's why. That's why I try my best to like only do that, and I'll kind of rub it into the edges, not really put the oil on the edges because I don't want that white residue, because that's what I've learned. But yeah, I don't, it just literally, I tell my client, it just disappears. Like it just goes away. I literally just brush it into the part where it needs to be. Keep it nice and simple. Yeah, I be telling her like, please don't. I do not want none of that.
Does that product work for more kinkier hair types that are not relaxed?
It can, but it just don't last as long. So it lasts as long as my picture and my video need to. I'm not gonna lie. But no, some of my clients with the kinkier ones, they say they go home. Sometimes they put a little gotta be gel and it'll keep them stayed. But again, I'm not even a baby hair person. I got all this hair and I don't even like it. It's a preference thing. So I'm like, if my client do that at home, they know they're not gonna get it from me, because I'm just not into really the edges type thing. So yeah, but this is the end results of the crochet. Yes. Right. How she likes it. So this is another thing I like when I play with the hair. So then I can kind of see where little pieces I do want to add in, which I see a piece. That's better. Your braid was showing. I ain't like that. There we go.
Like, did y'all want to feel it and feel how soft this is?
Yeah, y'all can come touch her hair, come look at it, examine it. I'm like, actually. So this is the final look of a basic crochet. The services that she chose that I am here to provide. Prior to the service, we washed, we blow dried, and trimmed. Trims are as needed. Other than that, we braided her hair down. This is her style of choice. Also, this is her thickness of choice. But this is my basic crochet.